All right, so dependent and inconsistent systems. Let's talk about this. Now, here we look at the graphs, and when we have a unique solution, we could take our two lines, let me get a different color here. We can take our two lines, and graph them and find our point of intersection, and that is the xy. This one looks like 3, -3. That solves this problem. That's kind of hard because sometimes it's hard to see the exact point. This does look like 3, -3 here. I'd have to check it to make sure. But let's say that we have two that are parallel lines. So parallel lines mean we have an inconsistent system. Means there's no solution. Same thing. And if we end up graphing two things, and you can see this is the same line, because this is just this one divided by 2. Same line, right? If we divide both sides of an equation by 2, it's the same equation. We've been doing that all along. So this is a dependent system. They're just saying the same thing in different ways. There's an infinite number of solutions because the solution can be anywhere on this line that we feel like going. So let's see what happens when we have solutions, what these are going to look like. Let's use the elimination method on this A problem right here. So this problem, if I look at this, and is that last one? Yeah. If I look at this, multiply the first equation by -2. -4x plus 10y is -14. Adding it to the second equation makes it 0, which means these two equations are the same equation. They're the same line. They're this line right here. So B was 4x minus 2y equals 10. So let's put -2 on this one. This is going to give me -4x plus 2y equals 6. Well, 0 equals 16. Those are parallel lines. If I solved these two equations, if I did -2y equals -4x plus 10, so y equals 2x minus 5. So slope is 2. And here, and the intercept's -5. Oh, look at that. So if I look at this one, -y is -2x minus 3. Y equals 2x plus 3. Slope is the same, but the intercept is different. It goes through at 3. So that means these two lines are parallel. And if we looked at these two, if I were to do the same thing here, I would have -5y equals -2x plus 7. Y equals 2/5 x plus minus 7/5. And that's exactly what I would get here if I were to solve that one. So I just get the same line with the slope and the y-intercept being exactly the same. Okay, that means that this is an infinite number of solutions. This is a dependent system. Okay, and I could write it like this. Y is dependent upon x. Here, there's no solution. They're inconsistent. You know, it's that old joke. I don't know if you've seen this old joke. It says, oh, it's a shame parallel lines will never meet. They have so much in common because they have the same slope. Whoops. Slope equals 2. And my intercept is 3. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about investments. I'm always talking about investments. So there's members of this investment club, and they've set a goal of earning 20% on the money they invest in stocks. They're considering buying 2 stocks for which the cost per share and the projected growth per share, both in dollars, are summarized in this table. Okay. They have $100,000 invest. How many shares of each stock should they buy to meet their goal? Okay, so they have $100,000. So they're going to buy X US stock and Y international stock. So that means that 20x plus 25y has to equal the money that they have. And it says they want to earn 20%. 20% of 100,000 is 20,000. So the growth per share here is 4 and 5. So 4x plus 5y is 20,000. So now we have to figure out how to solve this equation. Well, let's do this. So what if I go -5 on all this? What's going to happen? Well, let's see, 20x plus 25y equals 100,000. Here I have -20x minus 25y equals -100,000. Oops, there we go. This means 0 equals 0. Oh, yes. Yes, 0 equals 0. So this system is what we would call a dependent system. Okay. It doesn't really matter. You're going to make the same amount of money. So what we're saying, and we can actually look at it from the simpler one, which is 4x plus 5y is 20,000. So 5y is -4x plus 20,000. So y is -4/5 x plus 4,000. So y, how much you put in y, is just dependent on how much you put in x. So it really makes no difference. So it doesn't matter. So let's see. Let's see what, when x equals 0, y would be 4,000. So y has to be between 0 and 4,000, right? Because we can't go over 4,000 units, because if we went over 4,000 units of y, we would have to buy negative units in x. So that makes no sense. So, but what about the other way? Well, that would be 5,000. So I have to do between 0 and 4,000 units of y, and with the relationship y is -4/5 x plus 4,000. So if I decide to buy 100 shares of US stock, how many shares of technology should I buy? Well, y equals -4/5 times 1,000 plus 40,000, or 4,000 rather. So let's see, that's 5. That is 200. So that's -800 plus 4,000 equals 3,200. So if I buy 1,000 shares of X, then not technology stock, that's international stock. Then I should buy 3,200 of the international stock. So as long as I buy less than this amount. But if you see what I mean, what if I bought 5,000 of X? Then I would buy 0 Y, right? So I can buy 0 Y and 5,000 of X. I can buy 4,000 of Y and 0 of X, or anything in between, as long as it has this relationship. And that's all for this one.